more than your usual atlas map. They do have an atlas map project, but I didn't use it because it like somehow is convoluted towards some other tangent that's like causing me more problems than like rabbit holes I need to go down to. So there's SDF, true sign distance field, PSDF, a sign perpendicular distance field. I wonder what this is. And then there's MSDF, default, a multi-channel sign distance field, and MTSDF, a combination of MSDF and true SDF and alpha channel. Oh, it's like a lot to embed into one like little thing for like just text rendering. So this is the spreadsheet. It basically says that MTSDF supports everything. Channels for anti-aliasing, yes. Scalability, yes. Sharp corners, yes. Soft effects, yes. Hard effects, yes. Now you see with the other ones, MSSDF can't support soft effects, but MTSDF can. So it's got everything that you kind of would want. The only other thing that goes down from this rabbit hole to the next is SVGs and some other thing. Yeah. There's some other stuff. Oh yeah, and creating your own font thing or majigger storage font class, or converting something into SVG and storing it as a shape. Yeah, so it's oh yeah, this artery font file. I want to take a look at this. I'll just download the zip GitHub for now. Let's see. I do want to watch it. I did find some other cool repo today. It's some sort of like GLTF compression. My version of watching is fork every GitHub directory I have time for. But yeah. All right, so this little sample, I had to set up a test table here. And the test table is basically a program that will kind of help you display and do this. So this is rendering 20 times 20 different quads. And then there's like a big quad in the later. And then I made it so you could modify the UV coordinates. Because I didn't know why my UV coordinates weren't working. So I was like, the best way to do it is just to kind of test it. Because I see that the start is like this corner right here, bottom left, I believe it is the start. So there's some sort of like weird offset. It's not being offset by 64x or 64 pixels or 64 EM, whatever you want to call it. So I'm guessing it's because the way it's spitting it back out or something. But I know that I have the atlas right, because I've checked it in GIMP. And we could also kind of double check here, because we see that the atlas is doing this. And I've only atlas these characters because I didn't want to deal with all the complications of special characters and missed characters. And I could kind of keep fixing these problems while I get the main to work very sturdily. So this is the map. We can see that this is the A. This is an A. You can see that, like, I don't know. It's really hard to see when you haven't seen these characters like this before in this format. There is some way though I could turn the channels on. One fast way is to just fill it in with dark in the back layer, color 000 or whatever. And then it's kind of easier to see that, like, that's a B, the second character is a B, that's a C. You could totally see the C. The D is a little kind of to see. What comes after D? A, B, C, D, E? Yeah, E is like, you can't see it. F, you can't really see it. Just blah. G, you can kind of see it. So yeah, because they're assigned distance fields for different, I think that's an O right there. Little eye, the green, blue eye. So they look really cool. We could actually recycle this texture somehow. Like, I was thinking of doing this. I was going to have some fun with this before I started porting it. Like, I really want this to work on Android. And try this on the Raspberry Pi. Rewrite the shader from 330 core to 300 ES and ES 100. And then also GL 120, GLSL, I mean. Okay, the fragment color is equal to the color, and if it's not, it's alpha, and it passes through it. Okay, so that's like the general idea. So I've tested up this setup one, and basically it'll render that orange color. What I really want to try, I'll kind of like back this up maybe. What's going to happen is this file is turning into a dumpster full of like recycle this code, but I don't know if I'll come back and recycle it for all the cool little stupid effects that it made. Whatever. Shouldn't call it that, but recycle. All right, orange, right? So like, what if we set this to the texture? And it'll like look really weird. Then the alpha we will not set. Or we could set it to 0.8. It does have blending on. It would be interesting to see how this would work with this card. So this, I don't know, 0.1 or less can be this card. So the alpha is the distance of the field with the parameterized sharpness and edge width. The median is the distance being calculated of the three values. How this all works, I never really figured it out. I kind of just read some stuff and I was just like, all right, first we'll just get it to generate the texture, then I'll just get the shader to work. And yeah, first I got like SDF to work, and then I upgraded to MT SDF. I was like, all right, I just need the bulk of all those to be done, or at least the core of it, whatever way you want to think about it. But okay, so what is the texture? Damn it! Oh yeah, this is where it's sampling it. So let's take R. This is going to be broken down. There's two ways to write this. I want to write it this way. The glow is not working yet. Oh no, it is kind of working. I think it's this value. It's taking the alpha. That looks like it's the same thing. What the fuck? Let's just change this to like 9. And this to like whatever that was. I really don't like changing two values at once. It's like bad. RGB. Really what I wanted to put here, like this. Change this to 4, this 5, this to 4. So I'm getting another layer, the cycle, and then make this the alpha layer. Alright, I didn't save it. Really, I need to just like start working on my UI and importing this. That's the problem. Like all the fun stuff is like the really good stuff later on, and then like I got to get to other parts of this project, and they're also like majorly involved. It's like, okay. This is just for a simple text rendering, the text rendering engine. We got tiny XML, we got like all these libraries in this. There's like libraries within libraries. It's an inception of code. Alright, it looks like we didn't generate what I wanted. Why? Nothing worked. I think we compiled the wrong shader. Damn it. I hate it when that happens. Okay, so do we do recycle? Probably. I didn't fuck this up, I guess. No, I just left it. Alright. So we need to compile recycle. Oops. Yeah, so there's kind of like three parts to this. I wanted to say two. The getting the PGN in the right format in the memory. And then, so you don't have to write it to a file and read it from a file. And doing the shader. But there's like a whole major part. It's like part 3 of like dealing with their stupid code. Alright, so somehow that turned out to be transparent. It kind of looks cool. It zooms in whenever I do a key action and updates it. It doesn't update every frame because it doesn't really need to. So, yeah, highly transparent. Let's try to change the edge width and the sharpness. Also gives us like some idea. So the texture it's sampling, for some reason the alpha is like coming through. So you can see behind it. It actually does look kind of cool like this. Like this is an interesting effect. And it doesn't really cost that much to do it, like the ones in the background. Are redrawing the texture a lot, but I don't think it's like a big cost on a semi-decent system. Could be wrong though, whatever. I need to go look at ASCII table here for a second. Because I get confused. There's too much stuff going on. Alright, so if we put it through lowercase c, yeah, it would go through all that. Because we really need to go through exclamation point, at least for simple English, to tilde or delete. So we need to go from to 127, from 33 to 127. We don't need 127. Well, no, I lied. We would want this garbage too. Do we want this garbage? No, we don't really need this. Like Uber and Greek beta and 3/4. I mean, the idea is actually to support multiple languages, and this is good at it because it draws all those corners good. So for all the Chinese, I mean Mandarin and Japanese and any other kind of hardcore characters, even possible to do black and white emoji icons. I kind of tested it real quick, and I had to do this whole thing just to get it all set up. So I'd have to find that and be like, oh, do I want to support? Like I might support it, but just like black and white for now, at the most. And it's just like, just to transfer this mammoth behemoth over is just unacceptable. Because it's like, what are you doing? You're writing like a whole like text rendering system for an OS for a little game. It's kind of major. Alright, what do we want to do? Let's just update a few things. Just so we're like looking at this from a sanity perspective. I don't really need to update that. let's just do a few more upgrades, then we'll... I gotta just get that whole back road just textured correctly. What's at the next step? I feel like it's gonna suck, but it's not that bad. It's more of like just concentrating on one thing at a time. It's really hard though. I just find like it's always like the same thing, just concentrate on one thing, but it's like super hard. And you're like all behind in all your other things, and it's like stupid. Okay, I really need to modify that shader to work the way I planned. Alright, so if it's between 6 and 5, it's this. If it's less than 6, I think this needs to be less than 7. This is what... Alright, this is less than 7. Why is the alpha like garbage? Let's set this alpha to 1.0, like we have to. It's always nice to have transparent shit, so we could do some really cool effect. It's like I could put like a spinning cube behind it. It's like one of the things I want to do, because it's really easy to, I mean, to make a spinning cube and have it really high performance, meaning like don't even use a texture on it, just use some colors of the vertices or something to recycle its position, and then it'll like look really cool if you put two cubes and say each other, one just kind of rotated, and put that behind the quad. It's rendered transparent, and you have this like whole effect. And you're only going to be using like what, 6 plus 6 planes plus another plane, maybe another plane. So it's like 12, 14 planes for like a really computationally, a little bit effect. Computationally a little bit, like it's not like nothing, but not like completely zeroed out, but alright, so we got this. It kind of looks stupid, honestly. Whoops. I got annoyed and just hit the key. It has to like, yeah, I need to just get this to position right, I think. Stop messing around with the... But it is good to mess around, because then you like... Later you're going to have to do it. Yeah, we could see how it's being shaded with this one. This is like, I thought this would be a cool shader, but it's more of a debug shader. And we can see that outline. Whatever transparency is. But why does an orange show up? This is where I'm stuck. Like, we should have orange around this. Yeah, that looks so debugger. Let's see. Funny way to find it, but whatever. Oh, this might be an issue. don't see how that's alpha. What the fuck? How is that like that? It's the majority of the color here. Switch this. Okay. Probably this. Okay, it's that. I have to change this. Yellow is red plus blue or something. Red plus green, sorry, I think. I forget. Artist or something. My artistry skills don't allow me to combine colors. That's too much work. I don't care. Okay. I could just set the foreground color. But I'm gonna just cheat because I gotta just write more if statements on top of this later. Die. Okay. I figured it out, I think. And what I wanted to accomplish. I need like at least one effect. I have like a base effect to work off of. There's like some more I have in mind with quads and that back cube thing. Alright, we've created a fucking crap. Damn it. The problem is the background. I need the background to be different. I need to just add more test stuff. Yeah, this is why I need to like enhance everything in order for the effects to work. It made everything transparent. Okay. Get what I kind of can do here just to make it work. We have to bring this back. That 0.0.01. It's less than 1. Then here's the thing I kind of want. It's kind of hard to do this. Thought it would be easier, but whatever. It's like a hard shader. I already wrote like all these stupid if statements using quotes, separated new line. So I could just read it. It's stupid. It's better to do this in a file. Like I have it set up for the game in a file. It's more heart reloadish style. Yeah, we don't see the orange. It's like dumb. Oh, that's such crap. Now I see that transparency. I think I know how to do it. We don't test for alpha. We have to test for one of the signs distance values. Sign distance. I think we just need to use sign distance. Right. If sign distance is like close to the edge, then make it glow. It's easier to just alpha and just put a quad behind it and make it glow. You draw a circle on the quad. You can actually draw a circle on the triangle. And it might be better for other reasons too. But it'd be more optimized to just do it all in one shader pass. So we know it's hitting this for the most part because when we set sharpness and what's the other variable, hardness or something, edge width, then shit just like starts being transparent. It's a weird way to do it, but whatever. It should be something to do with this. But who knows? Let's just see what the fuck will happen. A lot of this is just like fucking around with it, just like trying to make the code cool, and then it's like you get like really random effects, and you're like, oh, that's cool, that's how you do that, without having to like go and like research half of Google, and it's like you could actually come up with all the effects just by messing with the variables. Alright. So what it did was, it did it wrong. That's funny. That's crap. And it makes it look really interesting. Isn't that nice? Like you zoom out. Oops. Yeah, if we were to like put this in a little small. Oh, we did draw more stuff. I didn't notice this. Yeah, and then you could stick your game texture up here somewhere. Let's just go see how this maybe looks like. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. It's pretty cool. The other part about it, NSDF, NS Paint, getting confused here. I think that's the answer to what I'm trying to achieve, but who cares? I have the default values of sharpness and edge width set right to where like it renders the way you would want it for default font rendering. That way, later I can mess with the values just to see what the effects would be after the shader is modified. Okay, this looks like it didn't work. Completely didn't work. And yeah, it's like transparent again. What the hell? How do we tell? Oh, we would have to calculate set sign distance outside of this. Make a median function, calculate sign distance, but we can't know sign distance because it's for every pixel. It's MSDF, so it's 0 to 1 minus -5. So it can be negative. Let's say negative to +5. That would be like the whole spectrum. And this is less than, let's put 2.5, greater than -2.5. It's like half of what it can be. It's more of a test than like, it's like, how do I predict this? I don't like these type of things where like you're just going back and forth, recompiling it. It's a stupid way. I should just wrote some test tool. All right, like this is a little bit better because we see that there's like 2 colors now right away. Crap. I don't think it's gonna work though. Because everything is yellow. Everything within the character spectrum is yellow. Something is signed. So it's too much. So I would have to make that a uniform. I mean, obviously, I did something really stupid. So I just like recycle my other uniforms. Get my works. I just wonder what it would do. Okay. I'll get this to work eventually. Say I wanted to be able to do glow. This. I mean, I need to go look at the Google. There's some people that have this in WebGL, and they've already figured like a lot of this out. It's like once you get to this point, you can just go and see what they wrote, and it makes sense now. But before you don't get this to work, it sucks. Oh look, it does glow now, and it has transparency. Yes, that's so fucking sick. Like that. It's like that. And I don't even know if I did it like they did it. I could have done it some other way just by doing this stupid experimenting. But that's really good. And then I could set that inner color to like a gradient or like the positions of the UVs. Yeah. And I don't even have a position right yet. And I have this working. That's good. This tester's a good tester. I could go back and find the other tester maybe. Who knows? Oh, I can just work off this one. It doesn't matter. I still need to like put all these characters in every one of these boxes. And then have like 2 fonts load. One for one language, next language. And just see how many. I mean like, and then I could just switch screens. Just have another 20 somewhere else and just move the camera. Now we need to find the size of these characters, because these characters like comma, you don't see comma here, but it's not being atlased. or let's say L. It's not as wide as a quad that A should be, and it's just UV coordinates need to be readjusted, whatever it's called, kerning or whatever, what that, bearing, that bullshit. And usually it's just like generic code. The code looks kind of wacky at first. It's like, oh, why do I deal with this math? You kind of don't. You can actually ask the AI, and if you could just engineer it right in your head, it'll just work. No, so how do you make a row now? Oh. And it's kind of weird because if you switch these variables around, you might get an even cooler effect, but sometimes they fight each other. Somehow he made it so it looks like iron. Because you could also take the sign distance and make that the yeah, so it'll bevel, whatever it's called, and mix bevel with whatever. Times the color different ways. Okay. I'll be back maybe with this, or I gotta do something else. I also have 2 more other things on the engine list. Segment access theorem and UDP connect to server and replicate the 2-player locations, maybe 3 or 4, and port this to Android and Raspberry Pi, obviously. Let's run it. Okay. Yay, yay, we're gonna get fonts to work, yay. I'm gonna be alone. Fuck. This camera's so screwed up always. I think I already have 5 million. Yeah, it's like, looks crazy like this. Why am I not going this way? It'd be cool to take the projection of the camera, figure out what that vector is, raycast it or ray trace it or whatever you call it, and you would like slide, like as your camera rotates, it'll follow the rotation of the camera, like it'll change the world's gravity to a certain vector, like gravity would be a vector of a character. Make them like be able to stand on the side of this. I do have like a sample that I'm working on with that segmentation access theorem. Okay. This is normal, whatever. And normal looks pretty cool with this too. The shader in the background doesn't make any sense to be nighttime right now, but that can be adjusted, and the sun position can be adjusted with the mouse in the shader to example. The parameter's still there. It's just like set to like time or something, some sort of weird sine wave. So it like keeps changing daylight settings. I don't have duck working yet. I should have the last ramp working now. Oh no, not in this version. It works, but it doesn't do anything because my UI is not there yet. Like this ramp should complete your level. And I just need to like add a few more things here. And it's kind of like I'll have level 1 done. That's really what I need. Level 1, level 2, maybe level 3. And it's like 1.0 game. And those are some of the effects. The triangles moving up. The fact that triangles work with concurrently with boxes. I mean quads. And obviously you could try to add meshes too, like make these like 3D cube rectangulars, cubinoids or whatever. Oh, we're rotating the wrong way. Like you have to press, you have to know what to press here. Really, it's really disorienting to do this. See, like it took me a little while to get this camera right. And it'll move the camera if you move the mouse while you're in the other cameras, and you can like kind of adjust that. And then moving up and down moves left to right, so that always like makes you like have good de-appreciation. Should make a transparent invisible wall maybe. Certain versions, like maybe in this camera version it'll just show more stuff. Yeah. All right. This is the progress here. More Android upgrades. S-ball is not working yet. Well, the render ball works, and here's the kicker. This can actually generate a different shape. Let me just like rerun this, generate that shape. What did I have to fix to do that? No, I don't want to modify anything, especially in the shader. I got this like kind of working. Yeah, it's this I believe. So I can draw a weird sphere. Like, see the top of that sphere, I believe? No, it is being rendered. But those are actually triangle spheres. Means it's using 3 vertices, not 6, or 3 indices, not 4. Or it's not using a quad to render it, it's just using a triangle. Whichever way you want to kind of imagine. Well, it's using a different shader, obviously. The shader has to do a certain strange operation for this to work. Like, have a radius, have some sort of circle alpha, a distance that's taken from a length of the UV coordinates vector. The UV coordinates have to be, I guess, subtracted from some sort of center constant. And then, I don't even know if you need the center constant. There might be a different way to do it. Maybe not. But, yeah, and then it'll like do this thing. What the hell happened here? Oh, it's compiling. Yeah, so then you do more computations, maybe doing it with the triangle. Yeah, that's the weird one. It's the oddball I found. It's kind of like the triangle is still here. You can see it. You can see it on these sides, but you can't see it on the bottom or the top. So it makes this nice, like, little peach shape. I don't know. So you don't have to like. And then it's taking this gradient that I got from this, and I ported it to here, and it's like semi-transparent. So it gives you this like little effect. It's just stupid stuff. I just had to get. I had an error on this last stream, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and I figured out what it was. It was some really annoying thing. Like they set this up knowing the attribute positions, and when I was assuming the same thing happens in OpenGL, but in this GLSL, no, it doesn't. What happened is the vertex attribute was being 1 for UVs and being 0 for, no, other way around. It was being 0 for UVs and 1 for attribute position, and then it was switching them in the other part of the call, but I didn't need it there, so there was like 2 issues really. So I tried to fix it by doing the other issue, by trying it the other way, by adding this thing. it's whenever you do the parsing, we tell it how to parse by using GL vertex pointer and GL enable vertex this. And so like when you get this underscore UV and underscore position, which is basically the position attribute for the uniform, or in this case, it's not a uniform, it's an attribute, or the vertex in, and the UV's in, and so it was this. I had to add this. And, the first parameter, it's called the index parameter, and you have to get it from the shader, with the shader stored, and you have to do this while you initialize. And when I was initializing, so if you look at my other code in the game, in the sprite manager, it does it just by using 0, 1, and it works fine, which I have to update and clean it up, because it goes bind buffer your VBO 0, your sprites, sends in the vertices with bind GL buffer data, and then vertex attribute pointer is just at 0. Like usually people do it like this, but really you have to pass in, instead of that 0 index, you gotta get the actual attribute that you got from the shader, store that, and stick it in there, and do the same thing for your next VBO buffer. And your VBO buffer can actually, the next VBO buffer can be on the same buffer, on the same vector thing. Yeah, so there's a lot of little, like this little section, just, you have to be perfect at this. One little mistake, yeah, sometimes you're setting the offset in the last parameter. What's the last parameter called? It says right here. Yeah, so GL vertex attribute pointer, which is called the descriptor, I believe, in metal, or Vulkan, metal, blah blah. It could be also called something else in metal, I think, or Vulkan. I'm pretty sure they're not called layers or swap chains. Swap chains is like just switching the buffer around. So does it say here? Yeah, it's just called pointer. It's GL null void, there's 0 at the end, but sometimes that's offset. And also you have to have a different stride if you're pumping it off the same vector float, or pointer to float array. But doing it like this is a little nicer. And then it renders elements. So you just have to have another buffer for elements array. It should be a little faster. Nope. We'll eat something. I still need to make the text render and put this. So the next thing is just take this